Hello everyone, welcome back to the Brock Automotive channel again. Today we're going to do a little intro video on our shop truck. So this is our shop truck. It is a 1975 Dodge W200. The W means it's four-wheel drive. 200 means it's a 3/4 ton, just like Ford's 250 or Chevy's 20 or 2500 nowadays. This truck is all factory as far as the drivetrain. We'll get to what's in it here in a minute, but I got this truck off a local guy. I don't know what owner I am of it, probably 19th the way things go around here, but this had been sitting for years when the guy that I bought it from bought it. He kind of tinkered with it a little bit, couldn't quite get it running, so he ended up selling it, or actually trading it to me. I traded a 2000 Dodge Durango for it. He just started a family and needed something a little bit bigger. His other vehicle was a Dodge truck as well, so he needed something a little bit bigger to haul his family in. I ended up getting this guy. Done a little bit of work to it already. I've owned it for probably 6 or 8 months by the time I filmed this. I've got it on the road, driven it several hundred miles now, and got a lot of the bugs worked out of it. We still have a few left to take care of. Might do some of that here on the channel, I don't know yet. What you're seeing here, we're going to go inside and all that here in a minute, but what you see here is really the only rust that's on the truck, and the body is pretty well solid. Just everything you see is surface rust, which is kind of surprising for this era of a Dodge. Seems like a lot of them were rusted out, either body panels, floorboards, bed, floor, things like that. This one here's in really good shape. You might notice that it has an older grill in it. I believe this is a grill out of a 72 truck, maybe a 73. As I said earlier, this truck, by the VIN and by the door tag, is a 1975. We'll go inside of it here in a minute. Pretty lucky with this truck. You know, glass is all good, the windshield's not cracked, both windows roll up and down, both vent windows open and close. It's got the slide mirror window in the back of it. Even the bed floor, I've got some stuff in it right now. I've been hauling firewood. As you can see, the bed floor, it has those 2 holes up there in the corner. If you look right up here in the front corner of the bed, there's a square or a rectangle hole cut in it. There's one over here on the driver's side as well. Not real sure what those were for. I think this truck may have had a camper in it at one time, so I don't know. I'm talking one of those campers that sits in the bed of the truck. I'll show you why I think that here in a little while, but they may have something to do with that. I'm not really sure. But anyway, the entire bed floor is really solid. I know you can't see for the wood that's in there, but it is. This maroon color that's on the inside of the bed, I believe, is the original color, because that maroon color is different places all over the truck. Like you see a little bit of it here on the tailgate lip. When we get under the hood, there's more on the inner fenders and so forth up there. Not real sure why somebody painted it or began to paint it. Another thing I'm not real sure of, maybe somebody watching this knows what they're for. You can see this square hole here that's been patched on the front of the bed. There's another square hole just like that on the driver's side. We'll walk around here real quick. But as you can see, there's another square hole just like it, basically in the same location on the driver's side. And I'm not real sure what that would be for. Maybe somebody can tell me. I'm not real sure. I don't know if it had something to do with the camper. There's some more of that maroon paint you can see on the inside of the door. Like I said, real solid truck. See cab corners, rocker panels, floors. Really good shape. No holes in them. Transmission hump. We'll go over to the passenger side in a minute. But you can see it's a 4-speed, 4-wheel drive. The dash in it is cracked and missing over here on the driver's side. Pretty common thing for these trucks. You can see over here on the glove box lid, it's starting to crack up there at the top. You've got the factory headliner panel in it, and as you can see, more of the maroon paint around the inside of the cab. Even got us a shotgun or rifle rack here in the back window. That's kind of neat. You don't see those much anymore. So there's the odometer on the old truck. Shows 19,357 miles. I mean, obviously it's not 19,000 miles. It's 119 or maybe 219. Really don't know which one. You guys kind of give me your opinion based on what you've seen in this video. Door tag I was telling you about. You can see there it was made in August of 1975. 3,500 pound front axle, 4,500 pound rear axle, GVW of 8,000 pounds. Doors, rocker panels, same as the driver's side. Cab corner, a little bit of something starting, but for its age and whatever, not that bad at all. Floorboards on the passenger side just as good as the driver. Really not even any surface rust over here. This truck, all right, so the steering column here, it has an automatic steering column in it. You can tell by the shifter mount there right in front of the key, and also up here on top of the steering wheel where you would normally see your, you know, what gear it's in transmission wise. But it's obviously got the 4-speed, so I don't know. I kind of feel like it probably came from the factory as a 4-speed truck because of the pedals. I think somebody probably switched in the automatic steering column at some point. Trim level looks like it's an Adventure Sport. Not real sure what that meant back in the day. I believe it meant you got this fancy little wood grain trim here on the doors across the dash. Not real sure. Maybe somebody could help me out with that. Door shut real nice on the truck. I did put these tires and wheels on it after I got it. Alright, so the part everybody's been waiting for is under the hood. This is a factory 440 truck. For those of you who don't know, this is a big block Dodge. You can tell the difference between a big block and a small block Dodge. You can tell by where the distributor's at. Big blocks, the distributor's up here in the front. Small blocks, the distributor's back there in the back behind the carburetor. So this is a big block 440 cubic inch. Factory engine in the truck. According to the VIN number, it came with a 440. Got it running here. Like I said, old engine runs good. Still need to do just a little dialing in on the carburetor. If you watch the carburetor video, we set it up just, I think, one stage rich from the base factory setting for a 750. That's still where it's at. Need to do a little dialing in. I've driven it some, runs pretty good down the road, but I need to pull the plugs, read the plugs, and see whether it needs richened up some more or what. Runs pretty good. I like the sound of the exhaust that the guy put on it for us. Someone put the aftermarket intake on it. That's the carburetor that we rebuilt in a different video. That's a 750 Edelbrock. Pretty nice under here too. You know, wheel wells are good. Core support up here around the radiator is good. We still got some work to do under here. There's probably some different things you're seeing, but again, there's that maroon paint we keep looking at all over the truck. Not real happy with the way this fuel line is ran from the pump up to the carburetor. We need to do something with that. Probably put some DEI heat shield around the hose and the line where it runs up across the engine. Try and keep the heat out of it as much as possible. There's some wiring back here in the back that we need to work on. Somebody's kind of rigged it up there a little bit. I like to take care of that stuff so I don't have any issues. Brake master cylinder is leaking. Looks like it's leaking around the lid as well as back there in the back under the master cylinder, out the rear seal. Probably do some videos of working on different things on this truck. One thing I'm kind of surprised at or proud about is this plastic overflow tank for the radiator here. These usually got pretty brittle on these types of trucks and got broke pretty easily. Oil change, whatever you may be doing, leaning over it, this thing usually got busted up pretty easily. This one here's in really good shape, doesn't leak, so that's kind of neat. I did have to put a battery in the truck when I got it. All in all, not a bad truck. We use this truck as a shop truck. You know, kind of draws attention, something you don't see very many of, especially around here. Body wise, it's not bent up, it's not rusted out, but at the same time we don't have to worry about paint. We can chuck it full of firewood and haul that to the shop. We burn wood at the shop in the winter, so we can do that with it. All of our old junk tires, we haul those off. Tires that we change that are dry rotted or blown out or whatever the case may be that nobody can use again. This bumper and hitch here, like I said earlier, I think this truck had a camper on it at one time. One of those campers that fits in the bed of the truck. I don't know if we can see it or if I have to crawl into the truck here, but the way this bumper is made, it has tubes on the bottom of the frame that the bumper slides into and is held in position by one bolt on each side. You take that bolt out and you can slide the bumper back toward, farther out from under the truck and bolt it in a different position, almost like a hitch is. And I think the reason that they did that, someone told me, was that when you had a camper in it, the back of the camper stuck out beyond the rear of the truck. So to get the bumper out of the way and get it on the outside of the camper, that's how you did it. When you wanted a regular pickup truck, you slid the bumper in, put the bolt in, and you had a regular rear end of a pickup truck. When you put your camper in here and needed this extra space, you took those bolts out, you slid the bumper back here, put your bolts back in different holes under the truck, and then you still had your bumper where you could either have the hitch if you needed, or at least a step there to start getting up into the camper. All right, so here's a little bit of a look underneath the truck. Dana 60 rear end, has 410 gears in it. There's the new shocks I told you we put on. I also got new exhaust put on it. So went to a local exhaust guy in a town down the road from here. He always does excellent work on exhaust, and he did again on this one. All right, so here is the extendable bumper thing I was talking about earlier. These here that my fingers are on is a tube that is welded to the frame right up here and back this way. The bumper has another square tube on it that slides inside this. You take this bolt out, there's one on each side of the truck, and then you slide the bumper back out from under the truck until another hole in the bumper tube, for lack of a better term. When that hole gets lined up back here again, you slide your bolt back in, tighten it down, and now your bumper is out from under your camper. Pretty neat setup. Dana 44 front axle. Transmission is, forget what Dodge calls these, NP 435, I think. It's kind of the same thing as a SM 465. They look similar on the outside. They both have PTO provisions. Just a heavy duty 4-speed. I said earlier, we had to do brake work when we got it. We replaced all the brake hoses, the calipers, the pads. I believe we had to put 1 or 2 steel lines on it. As I said, there's still some work to do to it. Front axle pinion seal's leaking some there, you can see. Transfer case appears to be leaking a little bit. Like I said when we were looking at the interior, I believe this truck came from the factory with a 4-speed. I believe that column was put in separately at whatever point, an automatic column. Fuel sending unit in the fuel tank we had to replace to get the gauge working. With a big block 4-wheel drive truck, I definitely wanted a working fuel gauge. So that's where we're at on this 1975 Dodge 3/4 ton Power Wagon. I hope you enjoyed the video. Leave me some comments, give me some ideas on what we should do with this thing. Leave it the way it is, fix it up, paint it. You tell me what we should do. I'm open to suggestions. If you stuck with it this far, I appreciate you watching. Please like this video, comment, it'll help other people see it. Let us know what we're doing good, what we need to improve on, and please subscribe. Thanks for watching. See you next time.